interesting because, you know, that's something I don't see that issue explored in a way that resonates with me very often. I see it explored in that way. Like, I love 30 Rock, but, you know, the entire narrative that Tina Fey can't stop eating and, like, chocolate,
she's gorgeous.
chocolate.
Right.
She's gorgeous, she's tiny. I know she used to be overweight. Mazel tov that she lost the weight. Like, but, you know, that narrative of, like, a thin, you know, or like I remember in 2 Weeks' Notice, Sandra Bullock's supposed to order like as much, like the joke is that she's always ordering too much Chinese food because she lives alone, and they're always like, are you going to eat all that? And just seeing that narrative applied to women who look like celebrities is frustrating to me, and I think I also want to explore it in a way that I don't think women do themselves any favors in the way that they write about body issues in Hollywood. And so for me, like, something I wanted to convey with my character was actually that, like, she has anxiety about a lot of things, and her body's one of them, but, like, ultimately her big problem is not that she doesn't think she's beautiful. And, like, because the fact is like, she is hitting on men who are, like, the guy who plays the chef in my movie is, like, beautiful. Like, he's a guy who looks like he was, to my mind, my friend David,
very
I told
cute.
him, he's very cute. My dad was like, he basically looks like God was like, I built a man in the image of me. And my dad's like a very heterosexual man who's like, that man's beautiful. And, you know, I didn't want to comment necessarily upon the fact that my character was hitting on someone who was like not really in the same league as her physically. It was more because her issues were more with, they were great. That was only one facet of like her issues with her own self-worth. But for me, you know, it's interesting. I don't think very much about the nudity stuff when I'm working. Like, I don't get nervous in front of the crew. I don't get self-conscious about people thinking it's navel gazing. It's funny, it only starts to truly occur to me when I see it with an audience and see the way they react and read reviews and see the fact that it comes up in every review of the movie, which is not a bad thing.
You're going against the norm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I think people admire you. I mean, I think it works. I think that women are identifying with you for sure.
I hope so, because I know that I didn't have, as a teenage girl who loved movies, I had a lot of role models, but I didn't have a lot of, I feel like there's, it's like you have, Cameron Manheim, and then you have, the skinniest girl in town or something, and there's no, like the fact is like, it's so funny to me when I read something, like I read some review the other day that described me as being basically described me as being extremely overweight, and I was like, that's...
You're normal. You're just normal,
but
that's what we're...
normal girl.
That's what we're used to.
I weigh 145 pounds, like I'm not gonna, like I can't, it's interesting, and it's something that I'm gonna, it's funny because, spending more and more time in Los Angeles has made me, even though New York is a kind of like a luxus place, it's different. As I tried to describe the difference, I was like, in New York, all my friends are really concerned about what they're wearing, and then don't brush their hair or wash their face and eat whatever they want. And in LA, people are wearing sweatpants and have perfect bodies, perfect hair, and perfect nails. So it's like, that's my distinction.
But at the same time, your character's quite stylish. I mean, she puts effort into looking good when she goes out.
She does.
Puts on a bit of makeup and tries to.
That's like my, I just like, so I like to put on a pair of high heels, but I also don't like to feel. I feel in many ways lucky that if I was a traditionally sexy woman putting myself in my film the way that I was, I would receive probably more negative feedback than I have gotten from being in the film looking.
So how much was it sort of the exigencies of necessity that made you have to make the film this way? And given that, I assume that was somewhat the case, because I think you were planning to do another film and this is what you did instead. Would you do it the same way again, or are you looking to
low
exactly?
budget?
Are you looking to improve the budget, hire professional actors? Are you going to continue to put yourself in your movies?
All of those. I like to go back and forth between big and small forever, because I think that making small movies, there's all the frustrations that come with it. There's never enough time. There's never enough money. There's never enough resources. But at the same time, there's this incredible liberation that you're just never going to have working with a higher power, if you will. And so I feel as though I love films, and I love all kinds of films, so I want to make movies on a larger scale, but I also want to keep doing this because you can tell a really uncompromising story when you're working this way, and that's like a big concern for me, is being able to, not that I think Tiny Furniture is aggressively arty or anything, but it isn't a movie that someone's going to give you to make. I don't really think. And so I did make this movie this way out of necessity because it's what I had, and I didn't have.
What is the budget again?
The budget is like just pure, totally mid five figures.
Yeah.
So it's real, and that's like after all is said and done, post everything. So
And you did get picked up.
and we did.
So
get
did you
distribution,
recoup?
Which is amazing. I mean, I don't know being able to recoup your film's budget on your MG is something that I haven't heard of happening to very many indie filmmakers. It was like a real blessing, and I think we went into the movie having absolutely no idea if anyone would see it. I mean, we didn't know if it would get to South by Southwest. We didn't know if it would get distribution. We were like,
Well, they were kind of owning you a little bit. They wanted you to, you know.
I mean, Janet Pearson has been like, I feel like I owe her a lot in this because she programmed my first movie, which was in many ways unprogrammable. It was 60 minutes. It looked like it was shot by a 3.5-year-old. I mean, it's parts of it did and parts of it don't, but she really kind of was a movie mom to it, and it was amazing. She adopted that kind of sick baby, and
She's very proud of you. I can tell you that. I saw her the other day.
Just adore her, and so with the second film, I was really, and also I met my DP Jody and my editor Lance and one of my producers Kyle and Alex Karpovsky was in the movie. I met them all at South by Southwest. So
That's another thing that festivals do.
It's true. That was when people say what's the best part of film festivals? The people that I've met have been literally just people that I want to work with for the rest of my life.